Thank you for staying with us here on TV3. We're interrupting normal programming because there's quite some disturbing development happening. This particular hour following recruitment, ongoing recruitment to get young persons enlisted into the security service. Well, the Ghana into the security service, the military to be specific. The Ghana Armed Forces have issued a statement in that regard, confirming the death of some 6 young individuals who had gathered at the Elwak Sports Stadium, where screening is currently expected to be ongoing for these young prospective military persons seeking to be enlisted onto the service. What we understand is that there was a stampede of some sort which resulted in the fatalities which are being confirmed to us this hour. We're going to be connecting to my colleague Joseph Armstrong Gold Alogbe, who's at the Elwak Stadium as we speak. But if you've used the stretch all throughout the morning, you realize that there's been quite the vehicular traffic built up around that area, with individuals spanning from the Elwak area to the Lands Commission all the way down in long queues, seeking to get the opportunity to serve their nation via the military. Unfortunately, as a result of what we cannot confirm, we understand there was some stampede of some sort which resulted in a number of injuries. Now we're learning of fatalities. The individuals, the young men, were rushed to the 37 military hospital where treatment is being offered to them. Some, we understand, have been taken to the emergency department as well of the military hospital, and we're working all these sources to bring you confirmation as to what the status of these individuals are at the hospital as we speak. But what we can confirm is that the military, the Ghana Armed Forces, is confirming that 6 of these young men, unfortunately, have passed. And tragic as it may be, we're going to be taking you to the Elwak Stadium in a bit to get details from my colleague Joseph Armstrong Gold Alogbe. But for a number of these individuals, they had begun massing up as late as 11 p.m. last night, seeking to be early and get the opportunity to be screened. And this is a process which is ongoing. The portal, we understand, was shut at some point. It was reopened for a lot more persons, all in the bit of what is government's plan to recruit a number of individuals into our security service over the next 5 years. There is a deliberate plan by the government to employ as many as they can into our security services. And one of such parts is what is happening with the military, and you can understand that it dominates in terms of preference by a lot of the young people into wanting to serve the country. I mentioned we're going to connect with my colleague Joseph Armstrong Gold. He's joined us right now. Armstrong, talk to us as to the situation at the Elwak Stadium. You've been there for quite a while, and try to paint a picture for us even as we see what is happening.
Yo, Mawuena, I can report to you now that the military has been able to bring the situation under control. Earlier this morning, if you get to this place, you will not even get a place to put your foot. But currently, as I speak to you now, they've managed to get many of the potential recruits to go back home and report tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, depending on what you are applying for. So currently, as we speak, we've also been told that the chief of the defense staff and the deputy minister the deputy defense minister, they are all on their way here to assess the situation. But as it stands right now, the situation here is calm. This morning, around 7 a.m., when we got to this place, there were some applicants that had queue. So when the gate was opened, there was stampede, and that led to many of the people falling on the floor, and they were walked over, and that led to the death of some 6 people that has been confirmed now by the military. So you see what is happening at the entrance now. Anytime the gate is opened, the rush for people to make their way in is very terrible. But even this, the situation hasn't brought under control yet. You can see the rush in here. As I speak to you now, if you move a little bit away from the entrance, you can count about thousands of applicants who are still gathered here, many of which have been asked to go back home and return the following day, but they are adamant they do not want to go. So if we watch from the very far end, you see the crowd trying to get close to where the military have managed to push them to now. Currently, they have to bring in the military police to calm the situation down by moving them gradually away from the street. As I speak to you now, you see the traffic has built up. If you are traveling from the Kaukudi area, people spent hours driving just to get to Bema camp, and if you are coming from the Tetekwashi area, the traffic went as far back as the Shangri-La junction, if you know that area. And every part of this area, if you are coming towards, you should prepare to drive in so many hours before you get to where you are going to. So as it stands right now, we have about few people that the military says they are going to screen them for the day. That is both for the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. They were fortunate to make their way into the Airworks Stadium early in the morning before the stampede. So you could see all these people that are crossing over the road now. They've all been asked to go and report tomorrow or Friday or Saturday, but indeed they are not willing to go. Their reason is that some big people bring in their own people after they leave, so they are not going to leave until they see that the gate is indeed closed. So any attempt to open the gate, you see all of them trying to rush and put themselves in there. So currently we are still on standby to hear what the military hierarchy has to say. We are reliably informed that the Deputy Defense Minister and the CDS are all making their way to this place to assess the situation for themselves. Mawuena.
And Armstrong, you mentioned that these young individuals are refusing to leave despite being told the screening is not going to proceed, but for persons who've already been able to make it into the gate.
Sorry, Mawuena, repeat yourself.
I'm asking that, is it the case that the young people are refusing to leave? Because we see that a number of them are beginning to now march away from the entrance area.
So this is what we've seen since morning. When they bring in the military police, they are able to move them away from the entrance, and after they leave, they come back again to the entrance. If you permit me, I'll talk to a few of them and ask why it's difficult for them to listen to what the military is saying so they can report the following day. Boss, that's saying. So you've been asked to go and come tomorrow.
Yes, please.
Why are you still here?
A friend told me last year she applied and they told her to come on Saturday, but she came and they said it's done. So I'm not going.
So it's an issue of trust?
Yes, please.
You don't trust the system?
Yes, please.
At all?
At all.
When did you arrive here?
8 o'clock in the morning.
Are you from Accra here?
Yes, please. New Botiano.
You are from New Botiano?
Yes, please.
Were you here when the stampede happened?
No, please.
You didn't see that?
Yes, please.
So what is the instruction now for you to do? Are you asked to come Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
I applied for the army, so I'm supposed to come here on Saturday.
So I think you should trust the system. You are being asked to go and report on Saturday.
How can I trust the system if the system can't trust itself?
Oh, what did you say?
How can I trust the system if the system can't trust itself?
Anyway, so you mean you are not going to go, you are going to be here. Have you eaten since morning?
I'm not going to eat, so it's done.
You are not going to eat. You started your military training.
Yes, please.
It's part of the training, right?
Yes, please.
What's your name?
Manuko Walker, please.
Well, so for him, his own is trust issues. He's not going to live here because he believes that immediately he leaves, per what happened to his friend last year, he was asked to go, and before he realized the entire process was over, so he wouldn't dare move an inch from this place. He has also said he's not going to eat until he makes his way to the Airworks Sports Stadium where the screening is happening. So people are peeping their eyes through the gate to see what exactly is happening in there and why they are being refused to enter. But if you find a way inside the stadium, you see the place is well coordinated. We have senior officers in there who are ensuring that those in there are being served some food and everything there is well coordinated. But if you come outside here, trying to get very close to where the people are, is where the issue is taking place now. So let me walk you through to what exactly is happening at this place and get more interview from the people here. We also wait for the defense, Deputy Defense Minister and that of the CDS to and tell us what.
Right, feed. We're having a bit of a challenge with that feed to Armstrong, but there's a statement that's come from the military hierarchy, which I mentioned when we started this breaking news coverage, confirming the death of the 6. And that's going to come up on your screen right now as we try and walk you through it. It was issued by the Department of Public Relations at the General Headquarters at Burma Camp. Stampede during Ghana Armed Forces recruitment exercise at Elwak Sports Stadium. That's the heading. And it reads that the Ghana Armed Forces deeply regrets to inform the general public of a tragic stampede prior to the commencement of the 2025-2026 recruitment exercise today, Wednesday, the 12th of November 2025, at the Elwak Sports Stadium, Accra. Preliminary investigations indicate that the stampede was triggered by an unexpected surge of applicants who breached security protocols and rushed into the gate ahead of scheduled screening at about 6:20 hours. That's 6:20 a.m. Very early, and the unfortunate incident led to the death of 6 potential recruits and many others injured. The injured are currently receiving emergency medical care at the 37 Military Hospital. The Ghana Armed Forces assures the general public that the medical teams are working tirelessly to stabilize affected individuals. Meanwhile, arrangements are being made to notify the families of the deceased. The Ghana Armed Forces extends its deepest condolences to the families of the deceased and wishes a swift recovery to those injured. Further updates will be communicated. Veronica Ajoahi is Captain, Ghana Navy, is Acting Director General of Public Relations. We understand the Greater Accra Regional Minister as well is at the Elwak Sports Stadium and we'll seek to possibly connect with her and get an understanding as to what really is happening right now. But that's it for you. That confirmation has come through from the Ghana Armed Forces. It happened very early and today, for many of you who use that stretch, you would have realized even at this particular juncture, we're doing 11:40 GMT, you realize there is still quite the traffic buildup. And these are visuals from earlier in the day. Just the sheer numbers of individuals availing themselves in the hope to want to serve. Thousands of individuals actually who are on the streets this afternoon, this morning, we're still in the morning, seeking to get the chance to be screened and be able to make their way through. We've heard from some of the individuals who say they've been in as early as 11 p.m. as a Tuesday and have been there all throughout the night, have continued to be there and are seeking to just get the opportunity to be screened and possibly get enlisted into the Ghana Armed Forces. Armstrong is back as the connection has been rectified. Armstrong, we understand the Greater Accra Regional Minister as well is making her way to the Elwak Stadium. Have you caught up with her? Brief us as to her mission as well. Armstrong, if you can hear me, I'm asking about the presence of the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Oklu, at the Elwak Stadium. Well, it does appear Armstrong cannot quite hear us just as yet. We'll try and rectify that connection with him and hopefully be able to take you inside for you to as well see what the inner perimeters of the Elwak Stadium looks like at this particular point in time. But let's take you right now as we continue to show you the sheer numbers in terms of individuals who continue to remain on the sidewalks, the medians refusing to leave, because as Armstrong spoke to one of the individuals, he said that he did not trust the system because someone had shared an account with him from last year where they were asked to leave and return on a subsequent day. As at the day they returned, they were told that the process was done. Hence, they cannot trust what exactly is supposed to be happening. But you also see vendors as well seeking to sell onto them some water as the sun continues to scorch. No proper area of sitting for them as well. But Armstrong is connected with us. Armstrong, I was asking that we understand the Greater Accra Regional Minister is in the vicinity. Talk to us about her presence and what she's seeking to do.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Armstrong, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So talk to us about what more is happening. We understand the regional minister is there. You mentioned that the chief of defense staff as well as the deputy defense minister are expected there any moment from now.
Yeah, exactly so. So earlier I spoke with the Greater Accra Regional Minister that we saw in the morning when the stampede happened, and she came also to see how she can also bring people from the Coordinating Council to support the military to control the situation here. And I also saw her meeting with some of the officers that are in charge of the screening exercise that is happening here. Speaking to her, she also made an appeal to the young applicants to go home and come as the military has directed them to. And she tried engaging few of them, and also that helped the situation to some extent, because after she spoke, we saw a number of people, a number of the applicants all making their way out from this place. But indeed, they hit 37, and they hear from their friends saying that, you need to go back and make sure that the entire process is fully over before you go, and then they've all made their way back here. So where I've gotten to now, Mawuena, you could see this is where we have some food vendors trying to also sell. Somebody has indeed brought the entire kitchen to this place to provide food for the applicant, because those who are outside are not being fed, but for those who are inside are being provided with water and food. So indeed, the vendors here are also having a field day, Mawuena. Currently, we are getting the information that the Deputy Defense Minister and the CDS will soon be here to be speaking to the media, Mawuena.
Can we have a preview of the inside as well, even as we continue to appreciate what these volumes of individuals are looking like? You've told us quite a number of times that there is a well-coordinated system inside which is catering to everything that's happening. And in your interaction with all these individuals as well, is it the case that they are all refusing to leave as well?
Mawuena, so it is very clear from the pictures you see on the screen now. All these people gathered here, they are not willing whatsoever to move an inch from this place. And they said earlier, as you hear one of the applicants speak on camera, that he doesn't trust the system. So there's no way he's going to leave here. And that's what has been said among all the applicants here. Let me engage this guy now too, you see. So you've been asked to leave this place and go and come tomorrow. Why are you still here?
They said we should come on Saturday. We are here for the army. We should come on Saturday. But the mistake is we are 2,000. And why do you tell all the 2,000 applicants to come on the same day? Which here we can't contain 2,000 people. So why then you tell us to come here, 2,000 to come here today? There are plenty of venues. There is the stadium there, the Blaster Square is there. So why always here? And there's a stampede sometimes here. So I don't know.
So right now they're asking you to go and come on Saturday.
Some are to come tomorrow. Some are to come tomorrow next.
So why are you not going?
Because people are entering. People are going.
You've seen people entering?
Yeah, people are going inside. Even though they are telling us to go home, they will hold your hand and take you inside.
Who hold your hand?
We know them. It's not fair. It's not fair. We are just come to sacrifice our life. It's nothing. We are come to sacrifice our own life to the country. So why should we suffer? Do you understand?
I'm trying to understand.
No, is it normal? I just want us to interact. Is it normal? I'm come to sacrifice my life. So why? Yeah. So why should I even suffer to sacrifice my own life for my own country? I'm a Ghanaian.
No, but right now they're asking that for your own safety, you should go and come prepared on Saturday.
So earlier on, they have to tell us that maybe today we can only work with 100 people. So they will send 100 people message for us to come. But me, I'm working somewhere. I have to plead for permission.
Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Wager.
Okay.
I'm building at Wager. Then I have to leave site and come here. You said I should come back on Saturday. So on Saturday, I have to ask for permission and come back. It's not even 15th on the calendar, and I have 2 days out of job. How much am I going to earn?
Okay. So you're not going to go?
I don't know. We just don't have any chance. And it's like, I'm even fed up. Because, Charlie, somebody said he has been here for the past 2 years. It's still the same thing. And he's going through the same thing he went through last 2 years. So what is it?
Well, now, so you've heard from this young man too, also has same concerns. I'm trying to make my way now to the main auditorium or the main stadium where the screening is taking place now and bring up to speed what exactly is happening in there.
Armstrong, we also see quite some elderly individuals as well in terms of presence. Can we get an understanding as to what they are as well doing there? Well, it does appear Armstrong is no longer with us because he did mention he was seeking to make his way into the stadium. But you heard one of the young individuals speak, and it raises quite a lot of questions with respect to national learning. We've done the same thing over and over again. Nothing appears to have changed. Only this time, unfortunately, it's gotten worse, where a stampede has resulted in the death of 6 individuals. And so, from the account of the individual who Armstrong just spoke to, someone tells us their story of the fact that they were there 2 years ago. I suspect they were there last year, and they are here again today. Same process. You're outside. Nobody is asking. We're asking for 5 individuals or 10 or 100 individuals to come today for us to get an understanding as to how many people can be screened in a day and all of that. Every year or every time these recruitments happen, the story is the same. Long queue of human beings lined up, discomfort for everybody because they're in the sun. There is no accommodation provided whatsoever. Then there's a vehicular traffic which is occasioned as a result of this development. And all of that puts undue pressure and burden on these. But these are just videos of when we were able to get inside to see what happens inside the stadium. But let's try and subject this a bit more to some scrutiny as to response time and what have you, because 620 hours is a time the Ghana Armed Forces says that unfortunate stampede happened, which resulted in the death of 6 individuals and the injuries to some others. Injury numbers not confirmed, but Richard Kumado is a fraud and security consultant. Let's pick his thoughts right now this afternoon. Mr. Kumado, I appreciate you speaking to us on such short notice. We're here again, same process, but only this time it has cost us 6 lives of very young individuals. Your thoughts on the process and the fact that many say it needs to change?
I think something creative and something innovative will be needed to help resolve this horrific situation that we witness year in and year out. We are not the only country recruiting soldiers into our army. There are various forms and various standardizations across the group. And I believe that if we really wanted to change it, we will have done so. I was very happy when the president said it was going to be done on a regional basis. And some of us spoke on your network and said, let's add a little bit of smart way of recruiting people where we wouldn't have large numbers of people forming the queue like we are seeing. But I don't think anybody listened or they anticipated what we are seeing. To the extent that we have lost 6 people, I believe the recruitment authorities and the state itself will wake up to their responsibility, and they will engage some level of creativity and innovative way of managing this situation and leaving these young people who are willing to put their lives on the line, not desperate and not despair. It's unfortunate, but that is where we are as a nation.
Now they are asking these young individuals, some of which, a number of them actually, who continue to be outside, to go home and return or on subsequent days, but they are refusing to go because there appears to be a lack of trust in the process being smooth and transparent and very fair to them as well. Can you blame them for their refusal to leave?
No problem. I wouldn't blame them at all, because you just spoke to Armstrong, just spoke to some of the people at EWA, and they are showing signs that some other people are breaking the line, some other people are obstructing the line, some other people are breaching the standard procedure in terms of queue, and that is exactly what might have led to the stampede in the first place. The people running to join the queue and people running to be in front, and that might have led the stampede in the first place. The military don't need a soothsayer or a prophet to tell them that once you have large numbers of people and people are anxious and anxiety is setting in, they will want to get into the stadium. And once they are not getting in, they will do everything to get in. The end result is that some people will run over others and it becomes the survivor of the fittest. The methodology of assembling large numbers of people at EWAC, as we are seeing, is a failed strategy, and it's an archaic strategy that needed to be scrapped. So I believe the young people have seen that now that I'm here and some other people are breaking the lines and are using protocols to get in, if I go home, I wouldn't have the opportunity to get in there on Saturday. They have to do everything responsible and everything possible to convince them. And once they do that, that will be fine.
And what it is that we're seeing play out, every now and then when these recruitments are happening, we continue to see the sheer numbers who are turning up. It used to be a purchase of form and all of that. It speaks to the unavailability of jobs. And I know for you security persons, you continue to sound the alarm as to what the dangers of a lack of job opportunities for young people are to the democracy and the republic. The fact that we continue to see it play out the way it does, and to the extent that it has happened this way today, it does suggest that there is quite the arduous task on government to find alternatives for young people in terms of jobs.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with you. There's one way of providing jobs, and there's a decent way of doing it. There's one way of asking people to serve in the military, and there's a strategic way of doing it. There's a way of making the security agencies available to people who are willing and able and have the qualification to join. But it has to be creative, and there are creative ways of doing it. We can benchmark what happens at the British academies and how they recruit people into their armies. We have a lot of people in this country who have joined the British Army and they have retired and they are working in government and acts of government. They can share their experience, and we can benchmark some of the best practices. Coupled with the fact that unemployment is a major security risk, and we are all aware. The military is not the only avenue to serve your country, but we've created an avenue and created a narrative that makes people feel that they have to join the military. And when you look at the bodies of the people, and you look at the faces of the young people there, and you look at their emotions in there, these ones are different from the olden days where you want people to struggle their way into ECOWAS, which then become the standard procedure, that survivor of the fittest, those with huge bodies, were the ones that will have the opportunity to serve by getting into ECOWAS, into EWAC before the actual process starts. These are young people. These are people who are willing to serve. They don't even know what it means to serve in the army. They are just putting themselves out there. Peradventure, they might get a permanent job that gives them a permanent salary. So we have to rethink the process. We have to review the process. And we have to reassess the methodology. And once that is done, I believe we are going to come to, a particular position where some of this stampede and some of these issues will be avoided. Mawuena, guess what? Many years ago when I was joining the BNI, we wrote an aptitude test. On the 1st of November, the BNI wrote an aptitude test. How many people heard about it? And how many stampede do they have? Where was the kill? So there are better ways of doing it. if the army is finding it difficult getting people to register as first instance, then they should call the director BNI or call the director NIB and let them show them what we do at the BNI as intelligence officers, how we manage the process and how we sit out people and bring them to the table to write aptitude tests. And we don't have any issues until I tell you that on 1st November, people wrote aptitude tests. Not many people in this country are aware that the BNI even start recruitment process. We are the best. We are intelligence officers. We are creative. We are innovative. So let the military come home. Let them learn. And we must avoid this particular thing because losing 6 people at EWA just for getting from the first door to the second door is an eyesore, and it's a very horrible thing to do.
Right. And for the military chiefs, this has been quite the week, considering that we received that report yesterday, details of it. There are persons already asking questions of leadership, and we're seeing things play out the way it's playing out today. What would you have to tell them in terms of managing, going forward, a number of these public encounters? Because some will say one too many in the last few months. Mr. Kumado, are you still with us on the phone lines?
Will have to be improved. It comes by public education and awareness creation. And it also comes by people understanding what the military in particularly do or what it does for the country and why we must engage them meaningfully and should not be antagonistic to the military. Because attacking military officers in a manner some people will want to do comes with some level of difficulty. And if they react in a responsive manner, it may lead many people in a very high level of discomfort. And I don't think we want to do so. But the military has a responsibility and the duty to engage the public meaningfully and to ensure that they establish those relationships that make them more affable and make them more friendly, while they don't lose sight of the fact that they are soldiers, they are military people, and they have to do what they are trained to do. And I believe all these discussions are happening within the shortest possible time. And it's all part of what we need to do as a nation to engage ourselves meaningfully in discussing the issues as they matter to us and as they matter to our national sovereignty. So we thank TV3 and the media general for creating the platform for some of us to share our experience. And as we do so, people listen and people take clues from it. And that is the way to go as a nation.
Mr. Kumado, I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now it's the afternoon, but we started this all throughout the morning. And the news, unfortunately, 6 individuals have died, some others injured as a result of a stampede at about 6:20 a.m. This morning. And of the many things, we'll be seeking to get a bit more in terms of understanding as to what's happened from the LWAC Sports Stadium, and also get an understanding as to what is expected to happen in the coming hours. But right now, let's bring you News Central.
Coming up this hour, Ghana Armed Forces confirms death of 6 potential recruits and injury to many others following a stampede at the LWAC Stadium during screening procedure for applicants.
Also, the ZAR, hundreds picked up by a joint military and police swoop at Dajing and Shidiem in response to recent attacks on EP officials, journalists, and security officials by illegal miners.
Class state prosecutors to call 4 witnesses in the trial of Ashanti Regional Chair of the NPP, Bernard Nchibwesiako, who has been charged with facilitating unlicensed mining operations. Those are the top stories. It's News Central here on TV3. I'm Kemini Amanor.
And I am Mawuena Egbeta. The bulletin starts right now.
Now, the Ghana Armed Forces has confirmed the death of 6 potential recruits following a stampede at the Elwak Sports Stadium in Accra during the ongoing military recruitment exercise. A statement from the Ghana Armed Forces signed by Acting Director General of the Public Affairs, Captain Retired Veronica Adjo Ahing, noted that many others were injured. The statement added that the injured are receiving emergency medical care at the 37 Military Hospital. The Ghana Armed Forces has meanwhile expressed its condolences to the families of the deceased. The nationwide recruitment exercise by the Ghana Armed Forces kicked off today across major centers, including Accra, Tamale, and Bogatanga. The 2-day enlistment process is drawing thousands of young men and women eager to join the military. We'll connect again with Joseph Armstrong, who is our correspondent on the ground, following events there after 6 people have been confirmed there. What else can you tell us, Armstrong?
So this is the yard where the screening is currently taking place. You see in here, everything is well coordinated as it stands right now. So these people were able to make their way into the stadium where the screening is taking place early in the morning. So with them, there's no problem with them. We are told many of these you see gathered here are going to be screened today. And if they qualify, they will continue with the process. Also here, you'd see that we have a structure here. So in case anybody is unwell, they will be able to carry the person. There's also an ambulance station here. I can count about 3 ambulances gathered here. 1 station right here. There's another one at the entrance, and at the far end, you have another ambulance also stationed there. So those you see at the long table over there are people that have gone through the body selection. They've gone through the documentation and it's correct. Now they are going through the body selection over there. So from there, when you qualify, then immediately it's like there's some sort of hope for you. Then you have to prepare for the exams that the date will be communicated in the near future. But as it stands right now, you see everything here is well coordinated and you will not see any disturbances here whatsoever. As it stands right now, we are told the Deputy Defense Minister and the CDS, they've all gone to the 37 Military Hospital to see those that were injured in the early morning stampede that took place here and also see how bad the situation is over there. Right from there, we are told they'll be coming to this place as well. So I'm trying to get the colonel that is in charge of all these SIs to get some briefing or some more information from, but it appears they are all very busy now. But as it stands right now, everything here is in order. Those who are outside will not be allowed entry until tomorrow or Friday, Saturday, depending on whether you are going for the Ghana Army, the Ghana Navy, or the Air Force. You see, this boy here, we are told they've been fed. You see, there's water also placed right in front of them. If you need water, this water was provided by the military, so if you need water, you get to drink. Let me get close to some of them and pick their thoughts on what they think of the process so far, since they are fortunate enough to get into the yard. And let's see where some of them have traveled from and how long they've been standing here. Boss, how are you?
I'm good.
Very well. So where are you coming from?
Insawam.
You are from Insawam?
Yes.
What time did you get here?
Yesterday, 9:15.
You got here around 9:15?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
So you were able to make your way in here?
Yes.
Was it too bad?
We'll hear more voices from the ground in a tad. Right now, let's speak to Peter Tobu, who is Vice Chairperson of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. Honorable, I appreciate your time with us this afternoon, but how does this, situation where 6 people who wanted the opportunity to serve this country only end up dying?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your channel viewers. It is quite an unfortunate incident. Let me first of all convey my condolences to the bereaved families. the young people of this country are very passionate about the desire to serve. They want to contribute their quota to make Ghana a better place. There is no other place better than where you were born and bred, the country that you belong to. So it is for us to contribute to its development. What happened this morning is quite unfortunate, but I know that the Ghana Armed Forces is strong enough not to let this one frustrate them. The screening process will go on. The recruitment process will go on. But I think that we all know that when you expect a crowd of this nature, we should probably do better the next time around. If you have a serious crowd like this, crowd control is very important, and you know some of the things that can trigger panic. If you open the gate at once and everybody will have to go in there, people have been there at 9 p.m. yesterday waiting for the gate to be open, so you expect that this kind of things will happen. And I think that with technology, we should be able to allow the software to, you can pull out data from the software. That says that probably LWAC will expect to have 5,000, 7,000 potential candidates or applicants. So if you are talking about 5,000 or 10,000 applicants in a day, there is a way that you could segregate them and allow some number to report today and the others can report tomorrow. I think these are not things that we can do. But I think in the past it has happened with all these crowds and we never had any problem. This is telling us that we need to vary our strategy, and next time probably we could do better so that we can protect lives of bodies.
I mean, based on what you're telling us, this could have been prevented.
This is a preventable incident, and I'm saying that the software is there, and the software, if you pull data from the software will tell you straight away that we expect this number of people at LWAC today. And if that crowd is not a number that you think that you can effectively manage in a day, you will probably just divide them into groups so that some can come today and some will come tomorrow, so that you can reduce the potential pressure associated with overcrowding.
I see. And we've just had reports from there. The exercise is still ongoing for those who are already within the perimeter of the LWAC Sports Stadium. And it's as though nothing has happened. That's why the 6 people dying. Is that okay?
The fact is that when you are inside the stadium where the process is going on, you will not even know that something happened that is untoward. The process is very fair in there, but I think that the beginning was a problem. When they opened the gate in the morning, and this incident, according to reports, happened around 6:20 a.m. And that was the beginning, that people have stayed over the night waiting to get the opportunity to enter. So when you open the gate, you expect this kind of stampede to happen. It is normal. But that is what I'm saying. Right from the beginning, if you knew the number of people that were expecting, and we knew that this number was so huge to be able to manage, we could break them into groups. Probably 1/3 will come today, tomorrow another will come, and whatever it is, even if it's going to take 3 days to do it, we can take 3 days to do it if it has to do with protecting the life of even one Ghanaian. I think that is fair. But we are learning from this, and I'm sure that all the other centers will learn from this. And many of the security agencies that are about to do recruitment, this one will also be a learning process. And I think the last time the police had a recruitment exercise, I was excited to realize that you even find people who've gone there and giving them water to drink because they were in batches, and batches according to the capacity of the recruitment officers for a day. If they can do 500 a day, they will not invite more than 500 people a day. And gradually it was very smooth. And I think that we can learn from this going forward.
Well, so Honorable, to be fair, we're learning that this is an exercise over 2 days. But I guess the question I'm asking for today is, shouldn't the exercise have paused after 6 lives were lost?
The exercise, if you pause the exercise, the 6 lives will not come back. It doesn't matter what you do. It is quite an unfortunate incident. And we are so sorry for this to have happened. Everybody is in tears. But the truth is that the exercise should go on. If we pause the exercise because we've lost some people, it is in reference to the death. Yes, I agree. But I think that continuing the exercise will not also change anything. I mean, the fact is that whatever you do today, our attention should be to take care of those who are injured, and our attention should be to prevent anything like this happening. That is major for me.
I see. And we also know that they are looking forward to really for the recruitment process to also continue either on Friday or Saturday. Obviously, lessons should have been learned. But my concern is, if this can happen under military watch, then I don't know if we are safe in this country, because this is the military who would usually offer support for the rest of the country when events of this sort is happening. But here we are, they themselves are facing issues like this. How does that come to you?
Thank you very much. Let's all know that when we talk about crowd control, crowd control is the duty of police. The military are not trained with controlling crowd. So when you talk about the military were there this morning. They didn't go for war. If it is about conflict and people have come to attack Ghana, or people have come to attack some people at Elwak, or people have come to attack the military and they are responding, if they had failed, we could talk about that.
But they can't even manage their recruitment. 6 people are dying over a recruitment exercise. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
The point I am making is that they died out of overcrowding that resulted in a stampede. And I'm saying that when we are talking about overcrowding or talking about crowd control, the expert in this field are the police. The military will do the best that they can. This is quite unfortunate. It was never anticipated. Nobody thought it could happen like this. And this is what is an eye-opener to all of us to say, sorry for what has happened. We will learn from this and we can do better. But don't think that the incapacity of the military can be painted because of this exercise. No. The incompetence cannot be seen of a military because in an overcrowded area there was a stampede and somebody died. And you use that one to determine the capacity or the competence of the Ghana Armed Forces. That would be quite unfortunate.
Honorable, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for talking to us. Peter Tobu is a member of Parliament. He's also with the Defense Committee in Parliament. But let's turn attention now to Dr. Nanayaw Akwada, who is Executive Director for the Bureau of Public Safety. Doc, good afternoon to you. Perhaps not for the 6 people and their families this afternoon, but how does this incident come to you? Preventable?
Good afternoon to your viewers. This is very unfortunate. First of all, I want to convey the Bureau of Public Safety's deep condolences to the families and also pray for speedy recovery for the injured. This tragedy is a stark reminder of the need to prioritize safety and human life above all else, even in state-organized programs. And I respectfully want to disagree with Peter. Honorable Member of Parliament. He's a very good friend, senior friend. I disagree with him that the program should continue. In civilized jurisdictions where human lives are valued, this program should be suspended. All ongoing or planned recruitment exercises should go through a safety audit, and then also request that if they want to come back on Friday, they should have completed a deep safety audit, risk assessment, and then require first aid and emergency medical response teams at all the centers. We want to say it as a Bureau of Public Safety that there must be an independent, transparent investigations into the root cause of this stampede. It must cover planning lapses, crowd control measures, and emergency response coordination. We cannot continue as a people like this. And I acknowledge that you mentioned that the police recruitment exercises that have gone on in the past have been quite well organized. Maybe the media has not really watched, but most of these security recruitment processes where they allow the youth to gang up, mass up at these stadiums has been characterized by chaos. People have been fainting. And I think that as a nation, we need to institutionalize some of these things that happen and learn from them and make them standard. There is no reason why there should not be there should be poor crowd control, inadequate planning, and absence of risk assessment at recruitment centers. These are preventable disasters. And so I think that the ongoing exercise should be suspended, risk assessment, safety audit performed, all control measures put in place before they continue. The loss of 6 lives and the chances, we are gathering from the ground is that the numbers may increase by close of day. It's not excusable. It's not acceptable. Public institutions are not exempt from occupational and public safety obligations. even during high-pressure events like military or police recruitment. They should not be exempt. And so it's absolutely important that we do the needful. I think Peter mentioned a few things about knowing that they could have easily picked
data
hint of the numbers, yes, that were coming in. So why didn't anybody foresee that, hey, the numbers we are bringing here, the stadium, for God's sake, has a capacity. The stadium has a capacity. So why, in the first place, populating the place above the capacity itself is an infringement on the law. If I were to organize a program and the numbers go above board, above the stadium's capacity, and something happens, my organizers and myself could be dragged to court and will be facing criminal charges. So why should we excuse the military to do this?
Well, Doc, you called for an independent investigation into the incident. Why is that important outside of the post-incident assessment?
Look, we need to have systemic reforms in public event safety. Okay, and in order to have such systemic reforms, we will have to base that on some of these incidents that have happened. What will be the learnings? And then based off this, we can make recommendations and say, hey, you cannot just invite people to such centers, such mass spaces. When you are doing it, you must have a system where you'll be able to have control over the numbers that will turn up. And you need to have X in place. The police must be there. You need to have the fire service there. You need to have the emergency, first aid, a medical emergency also on standby. You need to put in crowd control measures when you are having such mass events. So before we'll be able to, actually stipulate all of these and make them systemic reforms, they must be based off data. They must be based off credible investigations. And that's why I'm saying that we must have this safety audit, perform risk assessment, and then based on the investigations and based on the learnings from these investigations and everything that is done, we will put out the measures that people, future recruitment exercises, future musical shows, future events will all be guided by.
Doc, just before I let you go, clearly speaking, is this an indictment on the military or whichever organization put this together?
Unlike Peter, and I have to continuously refer to him because I intend to call him after here, I think that this should not have happened during the military recruitment. Respectfully, the military is one of the most disciplined and rigid institutions that we have as a nation until recently. Until recently, when I say until recently, I'm talking about Ashaman. When I say until recently, I'm talking about election-related violence where the military was involved. When I talk about recently, I'm talking about, instances where military have descended on communities, manhandled them and nothing happened. So the military is losing it. We at the Bureau of Public Safety would not like to look at this incident in isolation. It is a pointer to a cancer that is growing within the military. They are losing their discipline. And that's what we must look to. Today, it's descending on a community, with a lot of human rights abuses and nothing happens. Tomorrow, it is being deployed to go and do an operation and they go and act ultra-vires. And then today, it is an event that is poorly organized. People's lives have been lost. Tomorrow is going to be something else. So we really need to hold the military in check.
Very well. We'll leave it here. Thank you so much for talking to us. Dr. Nanaya Akwada is Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. We'll stay on the subject.
And let's bring you a bit more from this, where we know the thousands of prospective applicants seeking to be recruited into the Ghana Armed Forces in the northern and savannah regions have gathered to undergo training. The applicant will be taken through body selection and other procedures and criteria. There's a screening exercise happening there. Let's connect with Christopher Mwako as well. Chris, it's quite evident the story is different from where you are, but talk to us about the process as it's been.
Yes, so Mawuena, I can confirm to you that even though the process has been peaceful and smoothly, I must also say that the numbers that have come to take part in this exercise is huge. You know the weather conditions here in the northern part of the country, and I must say all these people, thousands of them, are currently at the mercy of the weather. Right now, as we speak, because of the huge numbers, those who have applied to go through the processes to join the Ghana Armed Forces, not the Navy and not the Air Force, they have been asked to go home and come tomorrow because they are unable to attend to all of them. Even the Navy and the Air Force, we are anticipating that probably they may not be able to attend to all of them because of the huge numbers. Lots of them have been complaining about the fact that they came yesterday to be part of this exercise, some from Zabzugo, Tatali, others from other parts of the northern region. If you go to the Savannah region, we have others from the East Gonja municipality, Salaga, Makango, and other places all joining this exercise today. So it's been stressful for these applicants, but the military has given indication that probably by close of day tomorrow, they'll be able to attend to the huge numbers that have come to be part of this exercise. And
you've been interacting with some of the young people as well. What have they been telling you is the motivation to be there? And here in Accra, some people were at the LWAC Stadium as early as 9:30 yesterday in the evening. Is the story similar?
It's a same story here. Majority of them actually slept in the open at the Tamale Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium starting from yesterday and till now. Most of them are hoping to go through the process successfully. Some of them have indicated that they have been home for a very long time and are envisaging that this will be an opportunity for them to successfully go through the process and also have the opportunity to serve the nation. Their major concern is the unemployment issue have rendered them hopeless at home over the period, and they are hoping that this time around they'll be considered and also be able to go through the processes successfully, because according to them, their documentation is accurate. They also believe that they have the body structure to be able to go through the process, but their concern has to do with the numbers, and they are hopeful that they will be considered once it is going to be on a regional basis according to them.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those details. That's my colleague Christopher Marco. We're taking you to the to Bolgatanga as well in the Upper East region because a similar story is unfolding. Thousands have thronged the Jubilee Park in search of recruitment opportunities, and that's it in your short. The prospective applicant, we understand, some arriving as early as 4 a.m., taking part in that two-day screening. Castro Senyala is my colleague there. Let's connect with him right now as well. Castro, help us understand the situation as we speak.
Yes, Mawuena, if you can hear me, the network is giving me a bit of trouble. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
The process here in the Upper East region is taking place at the Jubilee Park in Bolgatanga, the regional capital. I can report that everything is going on well. Behind me, as you can see, it's a desk where the military has set up and is registering the potential recruits who are dotted across the entire, premises. Now, the process started very smoothly, except that early in the morning, there was a bit of challenge because potential recruits were far too many, in the thousands. So what happened was that the military quickly broke them into two groups and have asked one part of the group to go home and come tomorrow, and that is the army. But those who have chosen options of Navy and Air Force are currently here and are being attended to. The process has been fluid. No issues have been recorded so far. Earlier on, there were a bit of technical issues, but as we speak now, they've been resolved and everything is going on well. I can report that everything is going on well.
Going on well. Thank you very much, Castro, for that. Castro Senyala is my colleague. At least some positive news from the Upper East region that all is going on smoothly in relation to this. There are other areas. We'll run quick spot checks in relation to exactly what's happening. But of the many things, we know that the military as well has issued that statement. They say there will be subsequent updates in relation to what is expected. But at the heart of this, really, is a concern as to how, as much as things have changed, they remain the same in terms of the processes. Same massing up of young people, long stretches of queues and what have you, in the sun at the mercy of the weather, really, and nothing has changed over the last few years in terms of what it is that the recruitment process is. Dr. Victor Doke is a lecturer and a security analyst at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center. Join us this afternoon as well. Doc, I appreciate you joining us. I'm sure the news has gotten to you and you've been able to process and interact with a number of individuals. What is your own understanding as to possibly the challenges which allows this process to continue to remain in the manner in which we have it? And this time round, there is news of unfortunately 6 persons dying.
Yeah, I think, Mawuena, thanks for having me. I think what happened is, I'm sorry to say this, but I have friends, family in the forces, but I think this time we didn't anticipate that this was going to happen because I don't think there was a risk assessment that was done. I don't think we anticipated. Even at the very moment before the gates would have been opened, the crowd we saw, did we need to call in for reinforcement for crowd control? Did we do that? Did we liaise with sister security agencies who are known to be better in the field of crowd control? Did we do that? And did we try to zone the recruitment process, from day one to day? Which section of the armed forces is coming? Is it Army, is it Air Force, or is it Navy? So then you can have a coordinated recruitment. So if you use EWA for the Army, Stadium for Air Force, and then the Black Star Square for the Navy. However, when you check only the Army, the number of people who have applied are so many. Then you can now disaggregate that figure. You don't need to have 2 days for this process. It can be a week. It doesn't matter. Okay? And the aspect of the process continuing. Ideally, what should have happened was, yes, suspend, but let's look at people who have also traveled far and near, logistics that have already gone in, the preparation and all of that. So if it is suspended, then what happens is they incur more work. Yes, apply everything. But ideally, that is what should have happened. That the experts have been substituted. Because now, what I'm learning is a section, which is they ask the Air Force those who have applied for effort to come work tomorrow. And I'm asking myself, so why didn't this happen in the first place? Section by section, according to the 3 arms of the Air Force. It is very important that we learn from this. We are going to, we are going to learn from this. And then, subsequently, all the sister agents who are going to conduct with different exercises should zone. You don't need to have the whole population at one venue trying to cut costs or whatever. Please, let's avoid it. This has already dated the of the armed forces country already.
Right. Right, Doc, I appreciate you joining us on such short notice and sharing your thoughts with us as well. That's Dr. Victor Docker, a security analyst and a lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping and Training Center. We're going for our very first break here on the bulletin. When we return, we know that there's been a joint police and military operation which has raided a number of towns or hotspots where EPA officials and journalists and then the NIMOS team was attacked a week ago. They've been conducting swoops, picking up individual suspects believed to have engaged in that activity. We'll get the details for you if you stay with us. Please do stay.
At the Elwak Sports Stadium and across the country where military recruitments are taking place. In the meantime, heavily armed police and military joint force have raided the Dadjing community to arrest suspects linked to recent attacks on the EPA and a group of journalists. 5 of these journalists were injured after a thug of illegal miners chased them out of the Adanse enclave. William Evans Inkum has filed the following report.
Notify communities that attack public officials and security personnel performing their lawful duties that firm action will be taken against them.
A statement from the Commander-in-Chief that will change the course of the fight against illegal mining.
As you are aware, we are going to undertake a special operation in the region. You know, the locations will be disclosed as we move. All what the Inspector General of Police want you to do is to be professional, extremely professional as you conduct your business.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge the fact that we are going to work with and on human beings. Let's ensure that we do not trample on the law as we execute our duty.
Yes, sir. A full-scale operation. Dozens of heavily armed security personnel from the Ghana Police Service and the Army combined. Destination, Dadjing.
Wait. Hey, get up now. Get up.
This is where a thug of illegal miners attacked the executive director of the EPA and her team, including some journalists. A chase out that resulted in an accident involving 5 journalists and 2 officials of the EPA. It sparked public outrage. The dawn operation was swift and unexpected.
For now, everybody's a suspect, and they are moving from room to room, and they are pecking them.
Even the public toilet was searched. Families got agitated. The suspects were escorted to the police depot for screening. Also at the depot were suspects from Hwidiam in connection with the attack on the NIMOS team.
You may have heard Evans mention Hwidiam because same operation happened in the Ahafo region where hundreds of men were arrested or have been arrested at Hwidiam and its environs by the joint force of the police and military. Our correspondent Armstrong Kusi has been following the situation. Is joining us via the phones to tell us a bit more. Armstrong, we understand that many people have been arrested. Talk to us about this operation and when it started.
Okay, thank you very much. The whole thing started today around 4 a.m. in the morning. I received a call from a colleague in Hwidiam that a joint force of the police and the military have taken over the town. So as a journalist, I have to rush and then find out things for myself. When I went there, indeed, the police and the military, even some people from the immigration also have joined the force, arresting people, moving from house to houses and arresting those guys they believe that they attacked the NIMOS and soldiers about 2 weeks ago. In fact, I couldn't get a chance to speak to any of the officers or maybe some of the authorities, but I had the opportunity to talk to one guy who was arrested, conveyed to Kenyasi Police Depot, and then released after they ascertained that he was not among those guys who attacked the NIMOS and soldiers. He told me that if he can count well, almost about 1,000 men have been arrested by the military and the police, and they are preparing them to convey them to Kumasi for further interrogation. And before my naked eyes, I saw about 8 to 10 metro buses conveying these guys from Hwidiam to Kumasi. As of now, they are still in town doing the operation, arresting people, and also interrogating them. If you are found out that you are among those guys who attacked the NIMOS soldiers, then they pick you and then send you to Kumasi for further investigation.
And so we know they are being taken to Kumasi, but do we know if the joint team is still in the town?
Yes, they are there. They are still in the town. I believe that the intelligence I'm getting from ground is that they are going to stay not for only today or tomorrow, but a week, because they've come in a full operation and trying to fetch and then arrest any guy who confronted the NIMO and soldiers last 2 weeks and trying to attack them. So the soldiers are very hot, the police personnel are very hot, and then and all the security personnel are hot, trying to fish out any guy who was among those people who attacked the NIMO and soldiers.
Armstrong, just finally, talk to us about what the town looks like. Are people still able to go about their business as freely as they'd want?
No, the place is now like a ghost town. VDM in Kenya say, you can't come out because the soldiers are in town with guns, armed, they are not laughing, they are not speaking to anybody. So nobody is having the courage to come out, whether to sell or to buy. The drivers have stopped traveling, stopped driving their cars. Passengers moving back home, and sellers staying back home. Everybody is afraid, and because the kind of arrest the military and the police I'm putting up today in VDM and Kumasi is ordinary. They don't listen to anybody, and they are not ready for your long talk. They'll just arrest you, put you in the car, and then send you to the depot for further interrogation before they send you. So VDM Kenya, I think, has same goal. So the place almost empty the streets.
Right then, Armstrong, thank you very much. Armstrong Kusi is our man in the Ahafo region, providing details there for us as to what it is that's been happening. We know joint operations in different parts of the Ashanti as well as the Ahafo region. We'll bring you details as and when we do have them.
We'll now head to the court where state prosecutors have told the Accra High Court that they will call on 4 witnesses against NPP's Ashanti Regional Chair Bernard Ntwibwe, who's also known as Wuntumi. Wuntumi and 2 others have pleaded not guilty to charges of alleged unauthorized assignment of mineral rights and facilitating unlicensed mining operations at Samre Boy in the Western region. Court correspondent Lord Iduasari is joining us with a bit more on this story. Lord, what else happened in court today?
Right, Kemini. And so today, lawyers for Democracy were expecting to move the motion, 2 applications mainly. One for disclosure of that agreements that government has with the U.S. government pertaining to the U.S. deportees. And then another one regarding the injunction, seeking to injunct that agreement and stop the deportations, government deportations of the African nationals to their home countries. Now, at the last agenda when the case was called, the Apex Court ordered the Attorney General's office to file their defense. And so today, both had filed their various submissions, but the Supreme Court noted that in as much as the Attorney General had filed an affidavit in opposition to that application by Democracy Hub, they observed that the Deputy Attorney General, per their words, had evaded the subject matter and addressed other matters, indicating that they did not directly talk about the matter that had to do with the agreement. So the court held that because the issue of the agreement was still yet to be determined, they would set a date to rule on the application by Democracy Hub for disclosures, meaning that the application for the government to disclose that memorandum of understanding or what agreement that government has with the U.S. government pertaining to that deportee situation. And so they set the date to November 26 to rule on that matter, but ordered the Attorney General's office to file all the submissions. Lawyers for the Democracy Hub also to file their submissions simultaneously. When the ruling is made on that application for disclosures, and then the court will now hear the application for the injunction that they have filed for Kemini. And so we're back in court on November 26th for this case. But I need to add that this afternoon we're also expecting the director of the National Service Authority, Osei Asibe in-chief. His lawyers are in court today to file an application to vary the bail terms that he has been placed on. Can you recall that he has been placed on a LATAM around 800,000 cedis bail with securities, all to be justified. And so he has still not met the bail condition. He's still in the custody of EOK. So his lawyers are praying the courts to vary this bail terms. And so that will be heard this afternoon. A little later, we'll also get to know the situation of Kwabena Eduboahing, the former National Signals Bureau director. His case will still continue because the prosecution's second witness will still, the examination in chief will still be going on. So that's what we'll be expecting today.
I see. And Lord, we know that Lawyer Piakubi addressed the press after, the court proceedings today.
Yes, Wontumi was also in court today. The prosecution indicated that they'll be calling 4 witnesses in the case. Now, this case with Wontumi Wontumi has 2 cases in court. The first has to do with his activities at the Summer Boy in the Western region, where he's facing charges including permitting some persons to mine in his concession without the necessary authorization. He has pleaded not guilty. So that case, the prosecution says they're going to call on 4 witnesses. And so the case has also been adjourned. When we are back next, the prosecution would have filed the witness statements on the defense lawyers, because they indicated that some of the witness statements they had filed, they had not yet served on Wontumi's lawyers. And so they did that today. And when we are back in court, the next agenda, we'll hear that.
Very well, Lord, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for talking to us. Lord Edwasar is our court correspondent. Let's take a listen to Lawyer Piakubi.
Attorney General served us fresh witness statements today. 2 more witnesses. It means that we need to study the witness statements before we come back to the court. So the matter has been adjourned to 27th of November for us to come and have the CMC. So the business of the day of the CMC didn't happen today. It's been adjourned to 27th. So we are grateful for your continued support.
There was some conversation about the total number of witnesses the state was going to rely on.
Yes.
Was it settled? Is it 5 or 4?
Yes, it is 4. The Attorney General had suggested 5, but from the records, we only have 4 witness statements. So we brought that to the attention of the court, and therefore, upon the reconciliation, we have now come to the position that we are going to be dealing with 4 witnesses. That is all.
Now, away from that, the Health Committee of Parliament has assured that it will ensure fair distribution and effective use of the $50 million committed to the production of vaccines locally. At a working visit to some pharmaceutical companies earmarked for the drive, including the Atlantic Life Sciences Limited, management appealed to government to allocate Sanglemi housing units to industries in the area to help address accommodation challenges facing staff.
We're thinking aloud that maybe the Sanglemi housing, we can also consider if government can allocate some for the industries in this enclave. We'll appreciate that. And then fast track clearance for the cold chain products, because we are going to do vaccines, and most of the standards, the bulk and other materials that we use require cold chain storage. If it stays at the port or the airport for a long time, it can have excursions in the temperature, and that can affect the quality of the product. Timely payment for goods supplied is also one area that we want government to assist us. And then the LI 2255, passage of the LI 2255, the revised VAT exemptions regulation is also key to us, because now inputs for vaccine manufacturing has been included in the list of those materials that are on the list. Then export facilitation and external debt recovery. If you quite remember, I think just last week, the president of PMAG made an appeal to government to help recover some debt from the Sahel states and other countries in the sub-region. So that's also another area we need support.
We are expected, and we'll make sure that we carry this
message across to the government. The government under Mahama has assigned around $50 million to the Vaccine Institute to use to see whether we can produce vaccines locally. And I believe you are one of the companies that is poised to benefit from this initiative.
Recruitment exercise is visiting with patients there.
and we're still following through. We'll be taking you to the 37 Military Hospital and then the Elwak Sports Stadium shortly. But we know that this recruitment, which is currently ongoing, is the first since October of 2021, and unfortunately, it's turned tragic, where now we're understanding or we're learning that that death toll could go up, but we're yet to get confirmation, and so we're not doubling any numbers for you this afternoon. But these are the numbers at play with respect to the sheer volumes. How many people are deciding to turn up in different parts of the country, and we've taken you to the Upper East region to start off with, as well as the northern part of the country, where people have gathered in their numbers, all at the mercy of the weather, with respect to this recruitment process. What we understand is that the government, as you know, we're aware, was announced by the Finance Ministry and the President in different engagement that was seeking to recruit for the next 5 years into our respective security agencies. Talk of the Immigration Service, the Ghana Police Service, the Prison Service, the Fire Service, and then as well the Ghana Armed Forces, which by itself has 3 divisions: the Air Force, the Navy, as well as the on-ground personnel as well. And so all in all, from the understanding of the data that we're seeing this afternoon, 90,000 plus individuals put in applications seeking to make it into the respective security agencies. And out of that number, 30,000 alone are targeting the military. That should tell you by what number individuals who are making. Some were disqualified. I need to put that on record, that not all of them are making it to the Elwak Stadium and then the respective parts of the country for screening, because this time round the system is such that they took the application required that you submit your BEC result as well as your WASI result. And so if you did not do too well in any of these, the system was going to reject you. And it's one of the first layer of sieving which went through. But 30,000 individuals is what I've expressed interest into wanting to be in the military. And out of all of these, the government's target, that 90,000 plus you saw here, 90,000, only 12,000 are going to be employed for the next 4 years. I mentioned 5, it's for the next 4 years, as a matter of fact. And we cannot even tell if all that 12,000 is going to be absorbed in the next year or be captured in the budget, which is to be presented by the Finance Minister tomorrow as well. We do not know if that is the case, or it will be over the course of the next 4 years, we'll be seeing these recruitments come through. But just this year alone, we've seen 90,000 plus in terms of persons who are seeking to enter. And averagely, we could work the math and say 3,000 will be employed into the respective security agencies for the next 4 years. And this screening period, and you've been hearing the security experts say it should go beyond 2 days, because it's been pegged at 2 days. And so you can imagine the number of individuals, 30,000 plus individuals seeking to make it into different security agencies, particularly the military. 2 days just might not be enough. And we know as well, I was talking to you about no major recruitment happening since 2021. And what we understand now is that death toll, which was confirmed by the Ghana Armed Forces, 6. The plus is because there are others at the emergency ward, which the president has been to, and we'll be getting details of his visit for you shortly as well. And then we know that the minimum days required for this 30,000 plus applicant is 15 days, with our own averages in terms of the numbers. But this is to say, if all the 30,000 were successful in going through the process, then it will require 15 days with the number seeking to look at 2,000 a day. But let's take you to Armstrong Gold at Logba right now, who's been inside. But this is when the president, and you see Felix Kwashiorfosu, this is when the president made his way to the 37 Military Hospital in some record speed. And that's the acting defense minister and the deputy as well. And as well, Felix Kwachiofosu, all in your shots just a short while ago when the president visited the 37 military hospital, seeking to understand for himself exactly what it is has happened, and some other top capos of the military, the Ghana Armed Forces, the Navy, all present, and the president himself in your pictures there, as he visited the 37 military hospital, seeking to understand for himself what's happened and be abreast with the situation as the state we understand would take care. Felix Kwachiofosu as well provided a bit of briefing as well as the military. We can try and take a listen to exactly what it is that was said there, but we'll try and rectify that and have you hear them. But let's connect with Armstrong right now again to get an understanding as to what the situation is. Armstrong, brief us with details as to what's happening now, because the earlier info was that the screening was to come to an end for a number of them whilst it continued for those who were in the inner perimeter. Is the screening continuing?
Yeah, Mawuena, so as it stands right now, we are still at the 37 military hospital where the president, as you said earlier, the president, Felix Kwachi, and also that of Atu Fosin, who is the caretaker minister of the Defense Ministry, and also the Deputy Defense Minister, all gathered here. Earlier, the president went into the hospital, but without the media, to assess the situation for himself. Later, they came out to brief us on the numbers of people who are dead. It still remains at 6. And we are told 12 critically injured, and then they are seeing how they can stabilize them. As it stands right now, the numbers still remain at 6, not 12, as is being reported in the media. So we are still getting more briefing from the military hierarchy here. But the president is done. He just left this place, followed by the other ministers who are all making their way out from the 37 military hospital now. Mawuena.
And we've seen that there's been some briefing provided by Felix Kwachiofosu and also a rep from the Ghana Armed Forces. What's the explanation they've been seeking to offer?
They were just confirming to us the number of people who are dead and what the state has to do. Felix really did not say much. He's the director of the 37 military hospital who came earlier to speak with us. So if you have the videos, let's take a listen.
Let's take a listen. We'll bring that subsequently, Armstrong. But okay, I get the indication we can listen to her right now. Let's just listen, and then I will wrap up the conversation when we return.
She's going to address you on the details of the casualties in order to set the record straight. So please go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Keep quiet and listen. Brigadier General Evelyn Vivian Abraham Pabia. I need to just get something straight. There's an erroneous information going out. The casualties we have that came through were 28 in number. Those who are dead are 6 and not 12. Those who are critical and in ICU are 5. We have 12 who are fairly critical. The rest are stable. Thank you.
That's the briefing as provided by the military. Armstrong, just talk to us as to whether or not before you left, the screening was still happening and the processes are continuing at the LWAC Stadium.
Yeah, so before I left the LWAC Sports Stadium, the screening was still taking place, but I heard one of the military chiefs ordering that they should sort the process, particularly those who are outside, to make sure that nobody enters the auditorium now. That is the instruction I heard the man give, that nobody should be allowed to enter into where the screening is taking place now. But for those who are already in the yard, we are not too sure what exactly the instruction, whether they should continue the screening or not. But all I heard him say was that they should make sure nobody goes through the gate again to where they are doing the screening. And those who are in there, hopefully before we leave here, we'll be able to get in to give us details what exactly it meant by they should allow anybody to enter into the stadium now, whether the screening is going to halt or they're going to continue. But for the last thing I saw when I left there, the screening was still going on successfully. and maybe later in the day we'll be told what will come out of the screen that is currently ongoing at the Elwak Sports Stadium.
Armstrong, thank you very much. That's my colleague Joseph Armstrong Gould Alogbe, providing details there for us. A bit unfortunate, but very important that the president as well has made his way to the 37 military hospital, seeking to ascertain for himself exactly what it is that's transpired. And it's a subject matter I'm sure you have a bit more of in terms of the details, but that's our bulletin for you. The Czar, I am Mawuena Egbeta.
And I am Kemini Amanor. Next is the afternoon show. We'll continue to keep an eye on the situation. Bye-bye for now.